Hello dearies, welcome back. You asked for it and I'm going to give it to you. Today I will be sharing with you my entire collection of pagan or pagan friendly kid books. Merry meet dearies, I am LaFay. I get asked a lot about the books that I've collected over the past 9 years since my son was but a wee little squish, and I actually did go through all levels of my house and looked for every book that I consider to be a actual pagan children's book or books that I felt were pagan friendly or pagan adjacent, and this is what I came up with. This is in no particular order. I'm just gonna start from the top and work my way down. The first one on the pile is Hiawatha. We live in Michigan. Hiawatha is the story of a Native American boy who lived in the Upper Peninsula. This is an adaptation of a poem or a song. I do believe Hiawatha was Ojibwe. So this is a pagan adjacent book for me. Swirl by Swirl, and this is a pagan friendly book. It's not directly pagan, however it does talk all about the spiral and why the spiral is an amazing shape. It is full of beautiful artwork, and it's something that my son, who is almost 9, we still love looking through it today. I also appreciate that in the back there's facts about spirals, even going into the Fibonacci spiral of it all. This is actually 2 books because it's a set. This is something that I honestly believe should be required. Okay, maybe not required, but 2 staples in a pagan children's library, and that would be Rupert's Tales. Rupert's Tales are Sabbath stories written by the author Kira about a bunny learning about pagan and goddess traditions. And there's lovely illustrations in here, and it's all poetry based. There's a rhythm and a rhyming to all of the stories, poems. The Tomten. So Tomtens are Scandinavian type elves. This is not my culture or my tradition, so I don't want to speak incorrectly. However, the Tomten is a wonderful story about an elf who helps out a farm at night. So I definitely think that this fits in very well in a pagan library. These next 2 books are not storybooks for children. They are resource books for parents. And as big humans raising little humans in a pagan type tradition, I think that they are very, very helpful. So I thought that I would share them, and they are Circle Round and also Celebrating the Great Mother. These are very good for helping you plan Sabbath celebrations and very good for helping you get inspiration and ideas of incorporating a pagan lifestyle into your everyday lives. This next one is a little bit unconventional, but very important, I think, and this is just a pink folder. In it, however, I have printed pages from the Puka Pages online magazine. I will insert here a screenshot of the webpage, but Puka Pages is a free online resource for families. It comes out at every Sabbath, and there are stories of Elsa, the little witch, and her cat Puka, and there's lessons to be learned in there. There's contributors from all around the world. There are recipes and crafts, and recently there have been something called Path of the Witchling, which are small lessons to help you introduce paganism to your children, maybe help you even learn a bit more about the path, because I learned a lot more about being pagan and what that meant to me by teaching my son. So Puka Pages are something that's very fun, and I think that, again, everyone walking a pagan path with their children should definitely check out Puka. Something else that I actually kind of rediscovered while I was collecting all of my books for this video is the Earth Child's Handbook. This is volume 1. I do believe that there are 2 volumes. This is a pagan activity book for children, and it's super fun, and I kind of forgot about it because, you know, life gets in the way. If maybe you're a homeschooler and you're looking to incorporate a bit of pagan learning into your homeschool day, this book would be fantastic to add to your homeschool curriculum. There are things in here, coloring, ooh, can you see that? A little bit, there you go, coloring your chakras. There are lessons on learning about aspects of an altar, word searches, symbols, making elemental representations for a mobile. Just so many good things in here, and I'm really thankful that I'm making this video for you because I have rediscovered this and getting really excited to incorporate this back into our lives. We're about halfway through my stack here, and I want to acknowledge the few things that I know I do not have here. There are a series of books from the author Wendy Pfeiffer. She has authored these wonderful books that discuss the changing of the season. So the spring equinox, the fall equinox, the summer solstice, the winter solstice. And the books, not only are they lovely to read and lovely to look at, but they discuss all traditions throughout history, and it makes them all seem equal. I love that she discusses not only ancient European cultures, but also maybe Egyptian, Christianity traditions are mentioned as well. I have most, if not all of them. However, I do know that I've lent them out to a friend. I will put some screenshots up here to show you what the covers of them look like. And I'm sorry that I can't show you them in person, but they are definitely some of my favorites. Little Owl's Night. The illustrations are great. It's about a little baby owl exploring the night, and it acknowledges the nocturnal creatures and makes them beautiful, not scary. So again, this is what I would consider a pagan adjacent book. Another pagan adjacent, the National Geographic Little Kids' first big book of space. In our house, the moon and the stars and the planets and all of that, they are something that really call to us. We love the nighttime. We love camping and watching the stars and looking at constellations. So any bit of information and knowledge that we can get to understand that which is beyond us fascinates us to no end in our house. The Lorax. This is number 1. And I am going to argue that this is pagan friendly and almost completely a pagan book. It's about loving the earth. Don't misunderstand, I'm not trying to make a blanket statement about every single pagan because we're all different. From my experience, however, I do think that it would be safe to say that as pagans, being a good human is a foundational concept. Loving the earth and taking care of her would be a general concept, and the Lorax embodies all of it. I probably almost know this by heart. So the Lorax by Dr. Seuss, which I guess we could definitely get into a discourse about the author. That's not the point. I'm talking about the story. The Lorax, number 1, love it. The Giving Tree. This is, maybe this one is a stretch, but I think that it does a lovely, fantastic job of illustrating the relationship that humans and nature can have, and that give and take, and what happens in that relationship. So The Giving Tree, I'm calling this a pagan adjacent, pagan friendly book. Older Than the Stars, and this discusses the entire history of the universe from Big Bang until today, and talks about how we are made of star stuff and how we are made up of the same things that have been around since the universe was created, and I think that that's really powerful. A Bed for the Wind, and this is one that I found at the thrift store. I don't know how you feel about secondhand shopping or thrifting. I am a huge proponent of that, and I'll be talking about that in a video coming in a couple of weeks. And it does a very fun job of personifying the wind, which is element for, you know, the air element. This one, you can see, was actually chewed by a teething little prince. This one is Meet Me at the Moon. It's a lovely story about a mother elephant who has to go away from her young 1 year, and talking about how they would communicate through looking at the moon together at night. The Legend of Sleeping Bear. Again, we live in Michigan. Is again a Native American legend about a mother bear crossing Lake Michigan, and sadly her 2 cubs drowned on the passage over. But it's something that is part of the Michigan story and the Michigan culture, and I think that definitely is pagan friendly and pagan aligned. Last 2 are the same subject, so I will share them together. Also, I'm sitting on the floor and I think my foot's about to go totally numb. I have 2 night sky books. This book I've had probably since 1993. Like, I've had to tape this thing. You look in here, it tells you the time of year and what constellations you can see. You can make sure you orient it north, south, east, and west. And I also purchased this one for Little Prince, the child's introduction to the night sky. And this one includes the stories that go along with the constellations and other cosmic bodies and occurrences and things like that. Phew! That's everything I have in front of me that I could find in the pile just went everywhere that I could find in my house. It is in no way even close to being a representation of all of the amazing resources that are out. In recent years, I have noticed that the amount of actual pagan-oriented books for children has just grown exponentially. And I'm a little bit jealous. Please, if you have any books that are newer, that you think are fantastic, that I obviously didn't mention, please share them in the section Beyond the Veil, because good pagan books are something that I know all pagan parents are always so interested in. Please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you had fun. Subscribe before you leave, because I'm not going anywhere and I would love to have you back. And with all of that said, I will see you in the next one. Bye, dearies.